Wow, good morning. Thank you very much. It's great to be here with all of you. President Schaetberger, thank you for that very kind introduction. Thank you for your leadership. I also want to thank General Secretary Treasurer Ed Kelly and the entire IAFF team. Thank you for having me here this morning. Before I begin, I want to touch on an issue that is on all of our minds right now. As was mentioned, I'm the chair of the National Governors Association, and a little bit later this morning, I will be going to the White House Situation Room. Vice President Pence and I will be holding our second teleconference with all of the nation's governors and with top-ranking federal officials regarding the coordinated federal-state response to the coronavirus. Last night, health officials in my state identified 2 additional positive cases. Maryland now has 5 total confirmed cases of COVID-19. And as of this morning, there are now more than 500 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in 34 states across the country and right here in Washington, D.C. In Maryland, our state health department team has been working collaboratively with the CDC and local health departments, and our emergency management teams are engaged with local and federal partners to limit the spread of COVID-19. Now, just like each and every one of you, my mission, my highest priority, is keeping people safe, and I want to assure Marylanders that our state is taking every precaution when it comes to the coronavirus, and I know that my fellow governors are all out there on the front lines doing the same thing. Now, let me just say it is truly an incredible honor to have this opportunity to be back here with you once again. I want to congratulate you on this 40th annual legislative conference of the International Association of Firefighters, which has a proud membership of more than 320,000 of our true heroes. And I want to say that I'm proud of every single one of them. But I want to take a moment to give a special shout out to my hometown guys, the professional firefighters of Maryland, led by Andy Pantelis, Jeff Buttle, and past President Mike Runn. Where are the Maryland guys? There's a bunch of Maryland folks here. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, guys. And not only do Maryland's professional firefighters do an outstanding job each and every day protecting the people of our state, but they have also given me tremendous support. I have had their back, and they have had mine, and I won't ever forget that. Just last week, we released the supplemental budget, and I was proud to include additional funding for the professional firefighters of Maryland for education and training. As governor, I have been moved countless times by the dedication, the bravery, and the selflessness of our firefighters and first responders. The outstanding men and women of the IAFF, including all of you here today, are at your best, and your goodness and compassion shines brightest when others are in need. Time and time again, when you're called upon, every single time you answer the call with no regard for your own personal safety. And when others run from the danger, you run toward it. It is on our very worst days that we ask the very best of all of you. In 2015, just 90 days after I was sworn in as governor, Baltimore City was in flames and facing its darkest days. 400 businesses were burned and destroyed. 170 firefighters and police officers were injured in just the first few hours. At the height of the riots, the number of arsons reached 900% above the 5-year average. It was the worst violence in 47 years. Our team acted swiftly and decisively. I declared a state of emergency, and we moved all of our key operations into the city. And it was thanks in large part to the incredible efforts of our firefighters, our police, first responders, and the Maryland National Guard, folks from all across the region who answered the call, who put the fires out. We were able to restore peace and law and order to the city. And our professional firefighters and paramedics rose to the occasion, just as they always do. And our police and guardsmen stood on the front lines and worked tirelessly around the clock right alongside them, all to serve the greater good. All of our professional firefighters and all of you truly are heroes walking among us, and you deserve our enduring appreciation and unwavering support. And making sure that you get that respect that you deserve isn't a political issue. It's just common sense, and it's simply the right thing to do. As governor, as I said, my top priority is keeping citizens safe. And in order to do that, it is essential that our firefighters and all of our first responders have the tools, the support, and the resources that they need to do their jobs effectively. During my first campaign as governor, I pledged to work hard to provide tax relief for all of Maryland's retirees. And I said that I wanted to eventually reach the point where we could eliminate all retirement taxes. But I pledged to begin by repealing the pensions of the brave men and women who put their lives on the line for the rest of us. So 5 years in a row, we have introduced Hometown Heroes legislation, which would eliminate all of the taxes on retirement income for our firefighters, police, and first responders. In 2017, we were successful in getting the legislature to pass a bill to exempt the first $15,000 of retirement income for our first responders. It was a good start, but it's not good enough. So this year, we again introduced the Hometown Heroes Act, and I pledge to you that we will not stop fighting until once and for all we eliminate 100% of the taxes on your pensions. In 2018, I had the honor of getting to know a Prince George's County firefighter named Jesse McCullough. His brothers and sisters in the fire and rescue service were holding a fundraiser for him to raise money for him and to show support for him and his family. Jesse was battling stage 4 occupational colon cancer. I met Jesse's wife, Susie, and his daughters, Maggie and Alice, and I presented him with a governor's citation to thank him for his years of selfless and dedicated service to the people of Prince George's County and the state of Maryland. I got to have the chance that day to have a long conversation with Jesse about the battle he was going through. And as your president mentioned, a few years earlier, I had faced my own 18-month battle with cancer, and I knew firsthand the physical, mental, and emotional toll it can take, and how hard it is on your family and your loved ones. And I shared some words of encouragement with Jesse. I told him to keep fighting, and I told him we wouldn't forget him, and that I would be praying for him and his family. When I met Jesse, I immediately loved the guy, and I couldn't help but be inspired by him. As sick as he wasn't the least bit depressed or disheartened. Instead, he had an incredibly positive attitude, and you could just tell that he was giving this fight everything that he had. Sadly, a couple of months later, Jesse lost his hard-fought battle with cancer. I had the honor of speaking at his funeral, and I talked about how much Jesse loved being a firefighter, how those he served with said he was the kind of guy you wanted to be gearing up with as you prepared to run the next call. He took such pride in his job. He worked hard, and he cared deeply about serving and helping others. For Jesse, and for so many of you gathered here this morning, being a firefighter is much more than just a job. It's a calling. And I know that right up until the very end, Jesse was displaying the same courage, fighting spirit, and positive attitude that he put into his long career in the fire service. I don't have to tell any of you here that firefighters get cancer at a much higher rate than the rest of the population. And over the course of my own treatment, I met some amazing fellow patients and their families who were fighting much tougher battles than my own. And it's because of them and because of all of you, firefighters like you, who are at higher risk, that I will continue to stand with all of those who are fighting this terrible disease. Last year, I was proud to enact legislation to add kidney or renal cell cancer and urinary cancer to 9 other types of cancer that Maryland already considered occupational diseases for firefighters under our workers' compensation laws. And I enacted the firefighter Jesse McCullough's Cancer Protection Law, which further expands worker compensation protections for first responders. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that for a firefighter, the response area around your station is called your first due. As governor, the state of Maryland is my first due. It is my job to make sure that my state and its people are kept safe. And all of you are an important part of helping me do that job. And I can promise you that as long as I'm governor, that our firefighters will continue to have a friend in the governor's office. You will continue to find a sympathetic ear, an open door, a seat at the table, and you will continue to have a tireless advocate standing up, having your back, and fighting for you each and every day. You have never stopped being there for us, and I will never stop being there for you. May God bless each and every one of you. May God bless all our first responders, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Amazing.